Hey everyone, so first of all, happy Pride Month to everyone that celebrates it. It's amazing to see how far the community has come and how far we can get in the future. Second of all, I do want to say if this video is sensitive to you, which it can happen that these things are sensitive to you or that you don't want to interact with this topic, please click away. Instead of leaving comments that help no one except for your own ego, please don't do that. It's very low and just click away if this is not for you. So anyways, I'm going to talk about some things that are important to mention during Pride Month and why it's important to actually talk about it and make it visible. So this video is going to be a little bit different. I am going to do a little build to stay true to my channel, but this video will be more of like a chatty type of video. So not really Bloxburg related. However, this is a house. So first of all, why it's important to make a video about Pride Month. Now, Pride Month is a month that celebrates the LGBTQ plus community. Some people love it, some people hate it, but it's important to talk about it because sometimes not talking about something makes people more scared. And that's what happens in some countries. Some countries have banned talking about the LGBTQ community. And as you can see in the results of those countries, like when people ask, are you homophobic or something like that, then usually people in those countries say yes because they do not know what it's all about. They think that those people are different and that they can't cope in society or that they have some sort of disease or whatever. It is not like that. You were born that way. Like if you are straight, you can totally imagine like falling in love with someone of the opposite gender. If someone is, let's say, gay or lesbian, because there are other parts of the LGBTQ community that are different as well. Let's start with lesbian and gay. These people fall in love with the same gender the same way that straight people fall in love with the opposite gender. Is it natural? Yes, it is completely natural. It has always existed. It's been silenced for years, but it has always existed. And it's really important to make that visible, that it has always existed. Apparently, I'm not sure, there's no way to confirm this, but apparently 1 out of every 5 people is LGBTQ+. And it's also important for people who are still searching on how they identify, what their preference is or what they like and dislike. And in some households, you can't really talk about that. So people go on the internet to look for it and it's really hard. But all of the names, I will get back to all the names and the pronouns and the so-called more letters every year. I will get back to that in the video. But it's important for people who are still discovering who they are. And some people might think that indeed they are part of the LGBTQ community for years, but then it turns out that they are straight. That can happen. Can also happen that you know from a young age that you are identifying with the LGBTQ plus community. There's differences in everyone, and it's not like this label suits you, so you have to be that. You don't have to be a label. I will get back to the labels as I said, but that is my first point, and that is why it's important to talk about it so that people who don't have the chance of learning about this at least get a chance on the internet to do so. My second point and it's stupid that I even have to make this point, is that the LGBTQ plus community is trying to convert other people, or the more people talk about it, the more people are LGBTQ plus, and that is really not the case. It's just the fact that the more that we become normalized with this, and yes, it is normal, but the more that more people become normalized with this, the more that they're like, you know what, I've always felt like that as well. And then they can do research and like find where they belong on the spectrum. It's not like talking about it or having ads with gay people in them will make more people gay. These people have always been gay. It's just they've never really given themselves the chance to think about how they feel because they have been forced into a certain stereotype from a young age. And the LGBTQ plus community really does not want to convert straight people to being gay or bi or whatever, you know? So it's not, no, it's not something that is actively happening. And that brings me to number 3, and I think this is very, very important to mention, especially to some people who are really actively part of the LGBTQ plus community, is that someone who does not actively support the community does not mean that they are homophobic. And people need to stop saying that. If someone says like, I don't support the LGBTQ community, but I have nothing against them, I've seen some people call them out and call them homophobic, and it's not because you don't support something that you are immediately having a phobia. And I think the homophobic word is used way too soon on someone not even having an opinion yet or being neutral. And I think we need to respect people who are being neutral as well. Not everyone is supposed to wave a flag or celebrate Pride Month, but it's nice to at least have people that are neutral. If someone is hating on you, that is way worse than someone being neutral. Neutral people can also be people who really don't care about what your preferences are, as long as you have a good personality. And that does really not mean that they have a phobia of you or that they're scared of you. They just really don't care what you identify as. And I think those people need to exist as well. And that's actually a good movement, because those people see gay, lesbian, bi, straight on the same level. And I think that's important to keep in mind as well, that not everyone has to support it to not hate it, if that makes sense in a way. I'm really, wow, this is a very interesting topic for me. Then number 4 is trolls. And those are people that feel really bad about themselves, so they go out of their way to comment on videos like these, or comments that mention the LGBTQ community or Pride Month or whatever. They feel the need to comment something terrible just to get attention for themselves. They might not even hate the LGBTQ plus community. They just comment something bad or cite something from the Bible so that they know they'll trigger people and they'll get a reaction from it. And that's exactly what they want. So the best thing to handle trolls is actually just ignore them, silence them, act as if they don't exist, because all they want to do is get a negative reaction out of people so that they get attention for it and they feel better about commenting something nasty because they don't get attention enough. And that's what they do. That's what they spend their time doing. It's kind of a sad hobby, but there's people that really need that attention. So just ignore them, I guess, if possible, because I know some people are really into it. And that brings me to my next point, LGBTQ plus and religion. Now, I think religion can be something so beautiful and so respectful, but then using quotes from the Bible or using words that have been written down anywhere against someone really defeat the purpose of your religion, because you are religious to find hope and peace and spirituality. And if you start hating on other people, that really defeats the purpose of why you are part of your religion in a way. Even if your religion says that you can't accept LGBTQ people, I think it's really hard to comment on that. It's quite controversial. The LGBTQ plus community is definitely not against religion. No way that every LGBTQ plus person is an atheist or whatever. It's just a lot of LGBTQ plus people have had bad experiences with their religion for not being accepted. So anyways, back to my point is, if you start hating on other people, that in a way is a sin as well, because you need to respect the people who live next to you, and everyone is the same. And if there was a God, I personally don't believe in a God, but if there was a God, I would believe that he created everyone, or she created everyone as an equal, and that your preference is not a mistake or something that should be fixed. I don't think that that is the correct way to go about it, to send hate or send Bible quotes. And one of the Bible quotes that I've seen is like something about being sinful, and if you choose, yes, it's not a choice, but it says if you choose to get involved in a same-sex relationship, that is really egotistic of you, and that is something that you shouldn't do. But in my opinion, if you say that to someone, that is very ego of you to do. To force someone into a relationship with someone that they don't even love is way more ego than falling in love with someone of the same sex. So it really defeats itself, and I get why people want to use Bible quotes, but I don't know, it's kind of weird, you know. But as I said, religion can be something beautiful if it's peaceful and respectful. I don't know, I have quite controversial views on that, so please don't hate me. I respect religions. I just don't like when someone uses it for their own personal gain. Then coming to one of the most used things, now this refers more to pronouns than the actual letters in the LGBTQ plus community. A lot of people say there are only 2 genders, male and female. Now that is a long history. When you are born, biologically, yes, you're either male or female. Gender is something man-made. Gender is something to describe a person on how they feel. So basically, back in the day, gender, male, female, sex is male, female. Biologically, yes, you are either a male or a female. Sometimes it happens that someone is born with 2 genders or 0 genders. It happens. But biologically, yes, there is only male and female. Now, gender-wise, gender construct is something that was made by humans. So it started with male and female. So basically, it was like males dress in suits, dress in pants. Females have skirts and work at home or stay in the kitchen all day. That was basically it back in the day. That was male, that was female. So if you were born as a female, you were bound to not have work because females weren't even allowed to work back in the day. So that was when that construct happened. Now, we learned later on that that is actually a spectrum. And the more we differentiate male and female, the more differences that there will be, because there used to be girl toys and boy toys. And like everything you did was based on either male or female. So we basically made it ourselves. And the people that hate on it now actually contributed to all the pronouns that exist now. Because, for example, someone being non-binary means that they don't align to either what a man is supposed to do or what a female is supposed to do. For example, a male liking skirts, makeups and stuff like that will be seen as non-binary, for example. But these are all just terms that we made to better identify ourselves or to better express ourselves. It's not like if you are non-binary that you don't acknowledge the fact that you are biologically male or female. That's definitely not it. Those are 2 different things. Your biological sex and your gender are 2 different things. And that's really something that people should know and educate themselves about, because it's just terms that people use to better express themselves or to better identify themselves. Now, to come back on that previous thing, where biologically male or female, but it can happen as well that you are born in the wrong body. That's called transsexual. And no, people don't choose to go through all of that effort to change their biological sex. If you are born in the wrong body, it's really hard to cope with that. And getting comments about it is even worse. And getting emotional about that. Yeah, it's hard for those people for everything that they go through. And then number 7 speaks for itself. Use your own opinion, not someone else's. If you don't form your own opinion, you shouldn't even comment on Pride Month. You see, the thing is, everything around us is straight-minded or like has straight couples. And then one time a gay couple comes along and it's like, oh, it's too much. They're really forcing it onto us. But everything is straight. And then some companies choose to do one gay thing and it's like, oh, it's too much. I don't want my child to see this. But yeah, that's why it needs to be more normalized, because a lot of people still have weird opinions about the matter. Even though it has existed forever, we have changed the world so much that we now look at the LGBTQ community as like a different thing, and that shouldn't be the case. Then at number 8, I just want to mention this. I know this video will get a lot of dislikes. I know people will unsubscribe from me and will comment or feel the need to comment, I'm unsubscribing, I don't support this. I will still stay the same person with the same opinions. My channel will still stay the same. So if you choose to leave my channel because of my views on LGBTQ+, that is up to you, and bye-bye. And then number 9, it is not a political thing, or at least it shouldn't be, especially in America. Is like, in America, politics are different from Europe. In Europe, every politician tries to like, I mean, this is very general, but in Europe, every politician tries to like bring the points of their party forward. And looking at politics in the US from an outside perspective, it looks like every the 2 main political parties are like trying to focus on each other's differences more and not on what they stand for. And that really makes politics really toxic. And I feel like supporting LGBTQ+ immediately puts people on the left side of the political spectrum. Wow, this is very political. But it shouldn't have to be. Like, if you support it, you support it, whatever. It should not have to be a political thing. And especially in the US, like, they really play out stuff like that to gain like more votes and like really play against each other, while you should make points on why your party is better at something, not the differences. But that's a whole different thing. So let's get back to the video. Number 10, there are a lot of people that aren't mad at the community when they are complaining about Pride Month. There are a lot of people that are mad, however, that some companies don't show any support. For example, there's a big movie company that does not show support at all. They don't make movies with any gay characters. I mean, they don't have to, but it would be normal to have at least some gay characters in some movies because, as I said, 1/5 of people are supposedly LGBTQ+, so having no LGBTQ characters in a movie or in like 50 movies in a row is kind of weird. But then when Pride Month comes along, they're like waving the flag and being like, hey, we accept you. We are the best for you. Come to us, you know? And a lot of people are mad at that because Pride Month is turning into something capitalistic and it shouldn't be. It should just be a celebration. But you know, everything that is big, that has a big community behind it will turn into something capitalistic. That is how the world works. And then coming back to people saying that letters get added every year. Same thing with the pronouns. They are human-made, and the thing is, the reason why there are more and more letters and more terms every single year is because the LGBTQ plus community is a spectrum, and it's a really wide spectrum. So some people are 100% straight, some people are 10% straight, and all of the terms really help identify you as a person and find a group of people that feel the same way you do. And that is why the names are being made. Do people need those labels? No, they don't need them. It just makes it easier for people to identify with something. And that is why all of the terms exist and more terms get added every year. And then the last point, and I do want to bring this up because I know people are gonna ask about it, my sexuality. Now, I think for my channel, I do Bloxburg videos, I think my sexuality is not important. And that's why I'm not yelling what I am or what I identify as, and I don't think labels are as important as I said in my previous point. I don't think everyone should have a label, and I don't want to be known as that label, you know? So that is why I don't label myself on my channel, because in real life, people are known as like, oh, that, let's say, bi guy or that gay guy. I don't want to be known as my label, and that's why I don't label myself. But if people ask on Discord or whatever, I will be honest, I will say it. I just don't want to be known as that YouTuber, you know? So whether I am straight, bi, gay, asexual, aromantic, doesn't really matter as long as I know and as long as I am happy with that. I don't feel the need to really label myself on here because this is a Bloxburg YouTube channel and I want to be known as something different than my personality. That's it. Now, anyways, I'm going to leave it at that. I did want to talk about Pride Month because it is very important to talk about it and give light to it. So that is my Pride Month video for this year. Now, of course, I will keep supporting the LGBTQ community year round. Yeah, I will moderate Discord servers again because some people really feel the need to troll. Anyways, going to leave it at that. Thank you guys so much for watching. Hit that like button and please subscribe.